Zac is dumping problems on Fatima, adding more stress to her life. After complaining and saying she needs to do less, Jeremiah is finally getting the help he needs on his own terms. Connie finally became the burden to Zac and Fatima she said she was trying to avoid, and Fatima is still a pushover. Child, let's talk about it. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you are watching this. Hey y'all, hey! So as you already read the title down below, I am recapping season 4, episode 11 of Tyler Perry's Zatima. And I'm so excited to get into my thoughts now that part 2 is out. And more importantly, ready to see the journey we're about to go on with the rest of, the show and the two lovebirds, you viewers. Well, not you, but we viewers love so much. So before I get into things, y'all make sure y'all like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and comment your pre-recap thoughts of the episode. Okay, now getting into the show. Fatima has pulled up to her house and she starts having a conversation with Deja about, her holding things down and not telling Zac about the crazy lady Leslie that has been single white female in Fatima. But man, Deja's so funny and slow. She don't remember nothing, blaming her amnesia on falling off, the stripper pole and getting beat up by Fatima. But the only thing Deja mind is on is this new man around Zac and Fatima's house, because we all know that's all Deja care about, the male species. So at this point, Fatima is confused on what Deja is talking about, because Deja is making it seem like Fatima is cheating on Zac and doesn't want him to know. And at this point, I'm damn confused too, because seriously, what the hell is going on? Especially when Deja is talking, Jesus. Well, when Fatima walks in her house, it's this big, bald-headed, healthy man just sitting on the couch. And apparently, he is Fatima's new, security guard. And I'm aggravated because, for one, how the hell do Zac move so fast and already have this girl a security guard? But more importantly, why is he just in the house sitting and waiting around? And Fatima don't know anything. Zac kills me when he does stuff like this. Why do you think it's okay to have a random man in the house waiting on your pregnant fiance who is already going through a stressful pregnancy? Like, what sense does that make? One thing that kills me about Zatima as a show is the lack of communication with Zac and Fatima. They both always want to hide problems from each other and hold off from telling each other other things that be very important for the other person to know. It's very off-putting, especially because they are supposed to give off, the vibes of being relationship goals or a relationship goals couple, and it doesn't give that. Maybe in the beginning they were on a right track of getting there, but it seems like they have fallen backwards. Another problem with this whole scene that grinded my gears is when Fatima walks in the door and sees Charles, she instantly pulls out his gun, pointing it towards him, and he starts getting up slowly and smiling. No sense of urgency or worry, as if this is a game. So in my mind, I'm already thinking he's going to be a bad security because his awareness and quick wit is on a fucking till, and barely that. Granted, I'm not going to blame him, but I am going to blame Zac because I am pretty sure Zac didn't tell the man that Fatima didn't know about him. But I bet you Zac told him Fatima is crazy and she carries a gun on her. Which is why Charles was so nonchalant about Fatima pulling it out on him. But I don't care, because if you're going to be someone's security, at least show them what you're working with, because right now it's looking like Fatima doesn't need you. And then when Fatima told him, to close the door, this fool had the nerves to say, I had to make sure you weren't being followed. Huh? Sir, you were sitting down on her couch comfortably. How the hell were you trying to make sure she wasn't being followed? Shouldn't you be trailing her, not waiting in her home in the AC on her couch? Yeah, no. That was the wrong line for this situation for sure. So moving on from that, we get into Connie, and Lord knows I feel bad for her. I truly do, but I need Connie to get her shit together only because the way Connie is moving doesn't seem like her. She is a good, she has a good head on her shoulder. She's smart, and so far we've seen her make the right decisions, and help others. So I don't understand why they are downplaying that part of her character. I get that she needs a support system to help her as she goes through her, cancer journey, but this could have been an easy fix had she, told her core people from the beginning. Then a lot of the problems she's in now could have, been handled way before it got as bad as it is now. But I guess this is a real and relatable situation. People usually wait until they are down on their luck to call and ask for help. I just hate seeing it, especially when you have a group of people that, will hold you down. But anyways, she decided to call Zac again, and this time she finally told him, all her problems. So of course, Zac jumps right on things, ready to play superhero. But what pissed me off was him calling Fatima to let her know he would be coming home late to help Connie, but don't tell her the reason why. Like, huh? Sir, you were just doing all that hooting and hollering about making sure Fatima's straight and making sure, y'all spend time together, making sure she's stress-free. And now you're telling her you're going to be out late with your ex and she doesn't get a reason why? Come on, man. Why are we dragging this? Like, seriously. He literally could have said, she had a health scare and something happened with her kids. I'm going to find out and will tell you something when I, know all the information. Literally, something so simple goes a long way. Why does it always have to be a game of secrecy over the phone with them? And to be honest, if you're going around your ex, I need to know everything immediately. Don't play with me. I feel like Fatima is too nice and lenient with Zac, and he takes advantage of that. Yeah, Connie is cool and all, but nah. So since Zac would be, late, Fatima called Angela to come over and hang out with her. So moving on from that, we get into a scene with Jeremiah. And to be honest, I was shocked to see a scene with him because I recently seen news that he's exiting the show. But then I realized he won't be on, season 5. So I guess we have to enjoy all of Jeremiah's character now because we will not see him anymore after this. But anyways, Jeremiah is back at the clinic where Zac took him to get clean. But remember, Jeremiah left and went back to the streets. But we all know in order for an addict to get clean, it has to be on their terms, not anyone else. So when Jeremiah went the first time, it was on Zac's terms. But now that, he went back on his own, I feel like he's ready. But when he gets to the clinic, the doctor who was working with him before told him that, they can't accept him because once he left, he lost out on the previous payment and deposit. And to be honest, this just goes to show you how all these systems and clinics are scams. I do not care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. These facilities are hella expensive. And on top of that, you all know the way addicts work. So I feel like once someone makes a payment or down deposit for their loved ones or even themselves, that it should, at least hold up for a month or a year, because they know these addicts are flip-floppy and back and forth because they are sick and sometimes it take a while. None of it is instant. And the fact that the money was put down, y'all could hold off for a little while. Just a little while. I don't know. That's just how I feel. But let me know in the comments y'all thoughts on the situation, because that will always just be crazy to me. But getting back to it, after the doctor told Jeremiah that his payment for his stay is gone, he started to leave. And of course, she felt bad and decided to let him stay, letting him know, they will figure something out. And I just want to say shout out to the people in this field with humanity, because it goes a long way. I just feel bad that it doesn't work for everyone because the system runs on money. Needless to say, she's going to look out for Jeremiah and basically be his support system through the process he's about to go through trying to, get clean. And she lets him know there are others that will, be there to help him along the way too, because it's going to be a hard process. And to be honest, I am kind of sad Jeremiah is leaving the show, because I would really love to see that process of him getting clean, him getting better, doing better, and building a bond back with Zac, being a good uncle, hell, even a good father, because doesn't Jeremiah have kids as well? If I'm not mistaken, they've mentioned it before, but never went deep into his backstory. So that would have been good to see, but may his character and storyline rest in peace. Moving on, we get back to Fatima, and this time Angela has arrived at the house, and she sees Charles and instantly turns into a horny little rabbit, wanting the man to feel all on her. Child, Angela is a mess. So as they're talking, Zac walks in the house, and Charles damn near breaks his arm, thinking, he's some sort of intruder. And at this point, please, Charles, okay? Please. So you mean to tell me you was going to pat down Angela when she walks in, but break Zac's arm? The person who paid you? Like, let's be for real. But what's worse is Zac coming in the house asking Fatima if Connie can stay the night. And then Connie walks in the house before Fatima can give an answer. So that means he already assumed the answer was going to be yes. And really didn't care about what Fatima would say or feel. And then this fool had the nerve to tell Fatima she can say no if she wants to, as if he already hasn't decided for her by bringing the girl to the house. Zac, please. And this is the communication issues these two have that I am going to continue to complain about. At this point, I feel like Zac takes Fatima as a joke, and I feel like Fatima doesn't put her foot down enough with Zac, which is why he gets away with the things he does. Zac knows Fatima is going to be his yes woman, which is crazy because we were led to believe Fatima is this boss bitch. Yeah, those qualities have gone away ever since she's been with Zac, and I need them to bring the old her back because enough is enough. I get having a heart and being understanding, but at this point, Fatima is just a pushover when it comes to Zac. But that's a deep dive for another day. So getting back on track, Zac finally tells Fatima that Connie has cancer and all the other problems, she has going on with CPS and the apartment burning down. So finally, Fatima gets an update. Fucking finally. But hell, at this point, it doesn't matter because she was already in a forced position to help Connie without any details, thanks to Zac. So while they are talking, Fatima asks Zac why Connie didn't tell them about her problem sooner. And he said it's because Connie felt like she didn't want to be a burden on them. But I don't want to hear that mess because you have now become a fucking burden. Well, okay, let me not say she's a burden, but I mean, all the things she was trying to avoid with not telling anyone has now come down on them tenfold. So I don't want to hear that excuse anymore, because if she really felt that way, she could have hit up, Tony, since he was the one she told anyways, and he could have helped her out if she truly felt like she didn't want to be a burden on Zac and Fatima. So we need to cut the crap. Connie still wants to be in Zac's life, period. Let's call a spade a spade. So beyond Zac throwing Connie on Fatima sporadically, he asked her to help Connie with getting her kids back. Mind you, he was just whining earlier saying that Fatima doesn't need to work at all and she needs to be on bed rest to reduce her stress. But now here he is asking her to help his ass with her kids in court, knowing how stressful that process is because they have been dealing with it themselves, trying to get Michael back. And speaking of Michael, what the hell happened with that whole storyline? It's like it just disappeared and isn't relevant anymore. At this point, I don't want to hear anything about Michael. Just let that boy go on and live with his grandma, auntie, or whoever he's with if y'all are going to be so concerned about everyone else and their problems and pushing your own problems to the side. And I shouldn't say y'all because it's really Zac, and he's just dragging Fatima in all of his mess. What also gets me is that Zac keeps dumping everything on Fatima, but he is still falling short and behind at work. But he uses Fatima in her pregnancy as an excuse to why. But at this point, he can't use her as the excuse. And he needs to just own up to the fact that he's a slacker. Because everyone around him do more, handle more than he does. And enough is enough. So after all the updates, everyone goes home. Well, Angela and Charles go home. And when Zac and Fatima are sleeping, they hear something moving downstairs. And instead of Zac going down to see what it is alone, Fatima gets behind him to go downstairs too. And that made no sense to me. Knowing how big and pregnant you are, you under stress, you don't know who is down there or what is happening. So why do you need to be on the scene and go looking and searching when it's not safe? And the fact that Zac didn't put his foot down about it pissed me off even more. I just didn't get that. But when they do get downstairs, they see it was Connie and she was trying to get to a trash can so she can throw up. But then she fell out because, you know, she's very sick and very weak because of her cancer. And it was just so sad to watch. Like, I literally was looking away from the screen. Like, it was so sad just to see that. Thankfully, you know, thankfully she was around them so they could help her. But my God. But anyways, that's it for my recap of episode 11. Y'all already know what to do. Like this video and show your girl some love. Leave a comment and let's discuss your thoughts on Zatima. And last but certainly not least, subscribe and join the queen, baby. Bye.